Today's story is a familiar story and it has a very powerful message behind it, and it's called Daniel and the Lion's Den. It's a story that's found in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 1 to 28. In the town of Babylon was a new appointed king named Darius. He wanted to find helpers, so he chose over 100 people to see who would suit the job. Then he narrowed it down to 3 people to be in charge as well as him. Daniel was among the 3 men. Darius respected Daniel so much that he had considered making him ruler over the whole kingdom. So how do you think these men were feeling? That they were picked, only 3 of them out of many people. How do you think they were feeling? There must have been something good about them. So this made the other leaders jealous, just as Alex, you said. So they determined to find a fault in Daniel to report to King Darius. However, no matter how hard they tried, the leaders could not find anything bad about Daniel, as everything he did was true to the king. Daniel had many attributes. He was clever and very careful, so he could do everything to the best of his capability, and he did. So the leaders, they knew that he worshipped God, so they had a plan. The leaders knew that the only way they could trap Daniel is if they made a new law for the king to sign, including the condition that everyone must pray to Darius, and anyone who did otherwise would be thrown into the den of lions. So how do you think Daniel was feeling at this point? That they were making a new rule that he couldn't worship God, James? Scared. Okay, what about you, Alex?
Disappointed.
Disappointed, yeah, because he wasn't allowed to worship God or he'd be killed by the lions. So King Darius signed the law, but it made no difference to Daniel. He did what he always did from the start and kneeled by his open window to pray to the God of heaven, and he did this 3 times a day. Okay, Jim,
The jealous leaders caught Daniel in the act and told the king. Darius had no choice but to arrest Daniel. The king tried to find a way to change the law, as he didn't want Daniel to die.
So before Daniel was thrown into the den, King Darius assured him, "Your God, who you continually serve, will deliver you." And the king had not slept that night, and early in the morning he rushed back to the lion's den. Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to deliver you from the lions? A part of Darius didn't expect an answer, but Daniel replied, "Oh, king, my God has sent his angel and shut the lion's mouth, and they did not hurt me." So how do you think Daniel was feeling now that he trusted in God and he didn't end up being killed, Alex?
Happy.
That's correct, he would have been happy, James. Yeah, he would have felt relieved as well. So, "O king, I have not done wrong before you," Daniel said, and King Darius was delighted, proceeding to order Daniel to be lifted from the pit. The king knew that God would deliver Daniel, and that Daniel's enemies were God's enemies. He commanded all those who tricked him to sign the bad law to be thrown into the lion's den, and the lions ate them all. Darius wanted the world to know that God had protected his faithful servant Daniel. Darius restored Daniel's honour and leadership, as well as writing a command for everyone to worship the true and living God. So do you think this was a good result in the end? That everyone was able to worship God? Yeah, it was. So that's the end of the story, and I'm going to ask us a few questions. What do we know about the story? Which town did the king rule over? Do you remember? Okay, it was the town of Babylon. Which animal was mentioned in the story? Alex?
Lions.
That's correct, it was the lions from the den. And how come Daniel was not eaten from by the lions, James? That's correct, because God sent an angel and kept the mouth of the lions closed. And what happened to the jealous leaders? Alex?
I got eaten.
That's correct. They got thrown into the lion's den and they were eaten. And what was the name of the king in the story? Do
King
you remember?
Darius.
That's correct, Alex. It was King Darius. And I want you both to tell me something that you've learned from the story. So, James?
Oh, we should always have
That's correct. That we should always have faith in God. And Alex?
Don't be jealous.
That's correct. Don't be jealous as well. So that's the end of the children's story. Who'd like to pray? Okay, Alex.
Okay, thank you for the children's story. And it was beautiful and it did good. Amen.
Amen. James, would you like to pray?
I'll give it to you.
Let us pray. Our Father art in heaven, thank you for blessing us today. Thank you for blessing us with the children's story. Please, Lord, make us have a full understanding about the story. And please, Lord, make us always have faith, no matter what situation we're in. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.